In the 1960s, America wasn't just building cars, it was building legends. The muscle car era was a golden age where power was everything, and the drag strip was the ultimate proving ground. Back then, quarter-mile times weren't just numbers, they were badges of honor. And today, we're diving deep into the 7 fastest muscle cars from the 1960s, ranked purely by how quickly they could crush the quarter mile. This isn't about hype, this is about facts. Real cars, real performance. So buckle up, because some of these machines were faster than most people even realized. Let's kick it off with a name that still sends shivers down the spines of car lovers today, 1969. Plymouth Roadrunner A12. This one sits at the top for a reason. The A12 wasn't your average Roadrunner. It was a drag strip monster straight from the factory. At the heart of it was a high-performance 440 cubic inch V8, known as the six-pack, because of its 3 two-barrel carburetors. It churned out 390 horsepower, but that's only part of the story. What made the A12 special was its attention to getting that power down to the pavement. It came with a 4.101 rear axle, heavy-duty suspension, and 15-inch Goodyear G70 tires for maximum traction. The engine borrowed parts from the legendary 426 Hemi, like the valve springs and hydraulic lifters, giving it that high-revving aggression needed to dominate the strip. Result? A quarter-mile time of just 13.0 seconds flat. In the 60s, that was blisteringly fast. And even today, it earns total respect. At number 2 is one of the rarest and most valuable Camaros ever built, the ZL1. This wasn't just a high-option package, it was basically a race car in disguise. The ZL1 came with a 427 cubic inch all-aluminum V8 that was originally developed for Can-Am racing. Chevy rated it at 430 horsepower, but most experts agree it made closer to 500 in reality. Because of the aluminum block, the engine weighed about the same as a small block V8, making the ZL1 lighter and more agile than any other big block muscle car. Add in heavy-duty suspension, a Muncie 4-speed, and a positraction rear end, and you had a street-legal drag weapon. It flew through the quarter mile in 13.2 seconds. And considering this was done on bias-ply tires from the 60s, that's even more impressive. You can't talk about fast 60s muscle without talking about the 426 Hemi. The Plymouth GTX, fitted with this fire-breathing power plant, was a rolling definition of raw performance. The Hemi V8 made 425 horsepower and 490 of torque, thanks to its dual 4-barrel carb setup and hemispherical combustion chambers. But Plymouth didn't just slap in a big engine, they reinforced the whole car. GTX Hemi models got special suspension components and a beefed-up rear differential with a limited-slip Dana 60 axle. That meant the power wasn't just for show, it actually got put down to the pavement. It matched the Charger Hemi's performance with a 13.5-second quarter mile. But the GTX earns the higher spot here because of its slightly higher value today and limited production numbers. The Dodge Charger RT is a legend for its looks alone. But under the hood of the RT version, especially when ordered with the optional 426 Hemi, it had the power to match. That Hemi delivered the same monstrous 425 horsepower and close to 500 pound-feet of torque, giving this heavy muscle car serious punch. The Charger RT wasn't just about brute force either. It had reinforced rear suspension, a limited slip differential, and the iconic Dana 60 rear end. Everything was designed to put that Hemi power to the road. And when the lights turned green, this beast would rocket through the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds, matching the GTX and proving that Mopar muscle wasn't to be messed with. Next up, something a bit more under the radar, but no less dangerous. The Hearst Olds 442 was born from a partnership between Oldsmobile and legendary shifter company Hearst. And what they created was a high-torque, high-style drag strip monster. Under the hood, a massive 455 cubic inch rocket V8 delivering 390 horsepower and a tire-melting 500 pound-feet of torque. That's the kind of torque that breaks axles. And it's why this car needed a reinforced rear end and a Hearst shifted transmission to handle it. On the quarter mile, it ran 13.7 seconds, making it one of the quickest full-size muscle cars of the 1960s. And with its white and gold paint scheme, it was easily one of the best looking too. Now here's one for the hardcore Pontiac fans. The Royal Bobcat GTO wasn't a factory trim. It was a tuner special from Royal Pontiac, a performance dealership in Michigan. These guys took stock GTOs and turned them into serious quarter-mile threats. Their secret? Swapping in a larger 428 cubic inch V8, tuning the carburation and ignition, and modifying the suspension for better launches. They kept the car's original 4-speed manual and even retained the plush vinyl interior, making this the ultimate sleeper. With their mods, the Royal Bobcat could run a 13.8-second quarter mile, a huge improvement over the stock GTO and proof of what careful tuning could achieve back in the day. Next, we've got the 1969 Plymouth Barracuda 440, or as fans like to call it, the early Cuda. This car didn't come to play. Powered by a 440 cubic inch Super Commando V8, it made 375 horsepower and tons of torque. Plymouth worked with Hearst to fit the massive engine into the compact Barracuda body, and the result was insane straight-line speed. Only 358 units were ever built, making this one of the rarest muscle cars of the decade. With a 4-speed transmission and limited-slip rear diff, the Cuda 440 could run the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds, putting it right in the mix with the best of them. Today, these cars are collector gold. They represent the peak of the muscle car era, a time when Detroit was locked in a horsepower war and every tenth of a second mattered. And whether you're a Chevy, Mopar, or Pontiac fan, thing is for sure, the 1960s built muscle that could move fast. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button so the algorithm knows this was worth watching. Comment below with your favorite muscle car from the list, or if you think we missed one. And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more fast history and automotive legends coming your way every week. Thanks for watching, and keep it pinned.